Welcome back, and today we're just doing a quick video, one last one about Talin. One because one of my guildmates just recently pulled her off banner right here, maybe? That's somewhere around here. It was today. I've probably already passed it. But yeah, so he pulled Talin today, which is ironic considering I tried for her and he also tried for her. But I did want to talk about her just a little bit more. So one, she is Watcher Piercer. So she's going to benefit more for range wise from Piercer setup. But damage wise, like when you're using her in boss content, I have a feeling that Watcher is going to be her best bet, because if you have Leia, anytime she's healed, she gets a 10% or 25% damage increase for 10 seconds. So that's great. But if you have Ingrid as her lord, anytime Ingrid deals damage to an enemy, direct damage to an enemy, the faction team members deal 20% extra damage to that enemy within 3 seconds. So this is almost certainly in boss content gonna be an extra 20% damage all the time, which is pretty huge for her. This allows her to put out all these beefy hits, and this in itself, when she activates her ultimate, she hits pretty hard. It's quite surprising. When I was on my guildmate's account and doing some tests with her, I know the testing video probably wasn't the most comprehensive. I didn't have a whole lot of time to do it. Like I said, if you guys want a better test done, I will log back onto his account at some point when I'm able to and actually do some full tests, maybe push a little bit of content for him with her, just to kind of show what she could do. But so Watchers, she's definitely going to have a big boost in damage as Watcher. Now Piercer, she is also going to get quite a bit of a damage increase. I mean, if you have Yovar, when deployed, faction team members gain damage increases by 15% every 20 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. This is a 45% damage increase. So if you can have a Piercer content or comp in boss content, this could be really good. Like Guild Boss 1, she could do a massive amount of damage. I didn't test her personally in Guild Boss 1, but I have heard that she can do more damage than Silas. And on my guildmate's account, I believe that's going to be almost definite, considering, let me see, I don't think his Silas is bonded. Let's see. Yeah, his Silas is only doing 14. I can almost guarantee Talin will be an automatic shoo-in for him, because I don't think he has Vierna. So that might be some more content coming out with her. I don't know if I'll make a dedicated video for that or what, but if you guys want to see it, definitely let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it. So she is a very versatile unit. She does a ton of damage. When she switches into her berserk stance, she does increase her HP by 100%. So if you have her built with 50k HP, that just goes straight up to 100k. If you somehow manage to build her with 75, 80k HP, which is a ton, don't get me wrong, that's not an easy feat to do, because considering she caps out at 1300. But if you manage that, she would end out with like 160,000 HP because of this, as long as this counted after deployment, not pre-deployment, right? And then also she converts 80% of her attack to defense. So if you beef her attack out like crazy, this makes her a very, very tanky damage dealer. She could be very strong in the right build. So I don't think a lot of people understand these stat conversions, how good they can actually be. The one thing that I'm not sure on is it says it converts 80% of attack to defense. Does this take away from her attack? I don't believe it does, but that one I'm not sure on. I would need to do a little bit more testing on. And her redeployment time being reduced by 15 seconds, that puts her down to a 45-second attack or redeployment. And then let's see, Volca decreases redeployment time by people. Let's see, it is somewhere around here. All right, let's see. So Volca reduces the redeployment time by 25%. And you look at Volca's A1, which reduces redeployment time by 25%. You take 45, you multiply that by 0.25. That's 11.25 seconds minus 45. So you're looking at 33.75 seconds before you could redeploy her with Volca on the same team, which is pretty big. That means you could put her as a tank and then pull her up and then put her as a damage dealer. And she is only a 16 cost, so when you need that early tank to do a little bit of damage to hold off a wave, she could be really handy there. She does have hard control. She has knock up as well as stun, so she has the possibility to stun, and she has the possibility of knocking enemies into the air, which is great. She ramps up, so she does more damage over time, and these stacks will last after she is pulled up, so all stacks are preserved after redeployment, which is great. Her awakenings are very strong. For every 1 stack of Thorn Shield increases damage by extra 2% instead of 1%, or an extra 2%, so that'd be what, 4% instead of so it's 4% per stack instead of 2% per stack, which, you know, that's huge. A lot of people are very underwhelmed by her, apparently, but everything I've looked at, she is really strong. I did not look at her ratings though. Let's see, Faction Trial 5, I could see that both in Watcher and Piercer, understandable. Void Rift, I could definitely see that. Titanic Ruin, I would like to see use of her in Titanic Ruin, but I do believe that she would be very good. AMR, that's an obvious good one. Immortal Codex, I'm a little curious on. She doesn't really fit a niche of any of them. Maybe not even the tank, because the tank codex, you're not looking at much damage coming in, or damage being put out. Drake's Chasm, I could see her being very strong here. Gear Raid 3, I think this is a little bit inflated. They do have very high magic resistance, and she does do magic damage, so she's not going to excel as much as a lot of people think in Gear Raid 3, even though she is a piercer. EXP Raid, that's obvious. Tide, I think she does build BP pretty well. Gold Raid, that's pretty obvious. Arena Anti-Air, I could see her excelling here. I could also see her being good in AoE DPS and single target DPS. She does both pretty decently. She's not going to be like Overlord Plat 3, but below that I could see her doing well. Gear Dungeon 1, I could definitely see her doing well there, because she does do magic damage, and you could put her down as a tank, and she will heal herself a bit with Ichor's Chalice. So she could be an answer for a bottom tank row. She's not going to be able to out damage their healing off of her, but if you pair her with an anti-healer, she might be able to work there. Guild War, I have seen some people say that she's just not good enough there. I think that would change in her A5, but that's also a very, very difficult one to say, hey, once she's A5, she's good in GVG, and it still takes, what, 2 minutes for her to get her unkill, or her extra life, so to say. So Guild Wars, I don't see her being super great for, unless she's as a damage dealer, not as a tank. Gear Dungeon 2, I showed her a little bit in Gear Dungeon 2, or Gear Raid 2. Gear Dungeon 2, I did show her a little bit in, and she could work there, so she was good there. Gear Dungeon 1, like I said, she's good there. Gear Raid 1, I could see her being pretty good there, and Gear Raid 2, she's also pretty decent there. There's a lot of use cases for her, and I think she's going to be an amazing progression champion for a lot of people, especially in her ground form. Her ground form is probably going to be one of the biggest progression points for a lot of people because she can tank and do a ton of damage by herself, so it takes up pretty much a fighter and a tank spot, or a fighter and a mage spot. So she could definitely be a benefit to early game players as well. But that will do it for this video. It already ran a little bit longer than I was intending, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about her a little bit more, and you know, lament in the fact that I did miss her still. But that'll do it for this video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to see more from me, definitely hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.